one of the more one-sided matchups going into the day. Sengoku being dominant in the groups and Bigetron only getting that 2-1. But here we are, game number 3. That means that none of the picks that you see on your screen can be picked for this particular round, at least for the side that they're on. And it's quite interesting. Infinity, are you here? Infinity, your mic is muted.
Oh, am I here? Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're here. Very good.
All right. What I was just saying, because I see a Tristana and the Lulu to the side of Google Gaming, right? And I think Tristana recently was actually buffed up. So very interesting what's going to happen for the side of Sengoku Gaming. And I think a Tristana also has the potential to go for that pentakill against Bigetron Infinity with the jumps, with the damage output, and with the AoE potential.
Already calling it. Infinity's calling it right now. It's gonna be a pentakill here for Tristana. Be interesting to see if that does come to fruition. She actually got some pretty big buffs on her side. 20% buff on her attack speed for her first ability, rapid fire. On her second ability, rocket jump, she had 25 damage boost across the board throughout the game. Explosive charge, which is her third ability. Passive damage went up 15 per level. Or 15 across the board throughout the game, 15 across the board for the base damage, and looks like 5% in the beginning and 50% later on with the bonus 80. So yeah, lots of damage coming out from this Tristana possibly. See how that works out here for Sengoku. Meanwhile, we have the Akali left through. It was banned the first game actually, and we're actually seeing the Misfortune as well coming out for Bigetron. Very strong lineup thus far for Bigetron, and this could, Sengoku has not been playing up to their normal superior standard, and if they drop the ball once more, Bigetron could definitely take this because their draft is looking pretty spicy.
Absolutely, and considering that you also have the Misfortune, you have the Orion Soul, and you also have the Akali. We've seen Akali throughout the series, we've seen Akali throughout the tournament, which is very, very dominating, even having a pentakill or quadrukill yesterday to show up. So we could potentially expect a lot of things coming in for that Misfortune and that Akali going to the side of Bigetron Infinity.
It looks like we are finishing up with the Alistair, so a very, very solid draft here for Bigetron, particularly when you think about the fact that they have 10 of those 10 very strong champions that we're not being able to use. Taking a look at Sengoku, not too shabby themselves. Obviously, the Tristana is a bit of a question mark. We'll see how well Slash Moon is going to be able to navigate that champion. Hawk, obviously, on the Wukong as well. Hawk, Wukong's pretty powerful in the jungle, but Hawk, we've mentioned it time and time again that or excuse me, not Hawk, Rush. Sorry, I just got confused because Hawk's name is on it right now. Rush typically prefers to have junglers that can clear very, very quickly. And Wukong with the nerf a couple of patches ago, it's going to be pretty difficult for Hawk to have that same sort of efficacy. I'm a bit worried about the Wukong, even though he's very strong. A bit worried about how the Gragas is going to work out as well, because I think that Hawk being on the Gragas in the mid lane looks like, I just feel like he needs to carry the fight for his team a lot, and we'll see if he's able to do it with the Gragas.
And while we're on topic on Gragas, I think it's somewhat sufficient enough for the Tristana, because if you have the ultimate from the Gragas splits up Bigetron Infinity, Tristana could just go for 1-1-1, right? And if you go 1-1-1, you get those kills. If you get those kills, you have the rocket jump. If you have the rocket jump, you could just continuously going in from one hero to one hero against Bigetron Infinity. So I think that is a potential scenario that Sengoku Gaming was wanting to go for.
Yeah, and one last thing we haven't mentioned is the obvious synergy between Wukong and Lulu. Wukong goes in, pops his ult, gets the ball growth there from Lulu as well. That's a double knockup. Potentially has another charge of that ultimate to pop as well. So could be triple knockup city, could be everyone dead. But that's gonna be an open question, unfortunately, for Sengoku, because even though they've been completely together as a team throughout this tournament, particularly in the group stage, has not been the case here in the playoffs. Can Sengoku play together as a team this time around? And can they actually be dominant like they've been before in this tournament? Or will Bigetron pull off the biggest upset of the tournament so far?
Indeed. These are all the questions that we have in mind coming into game number 3. And a lot of expected has been broken due to we are expecting a Sengoku Gaming with a dominance performance from group stages and the qualifiers to really dominate this specific matchup against Bigetron. But Bigetron has proven us wrong, going in for game number 3 with a 1-1 situation right now. It's do or die for both of these teams.
Yeah, it's a very small thing, but you see that Slash Moon and Digital are helping out Hawk. They realize that the clear speed is extremely slow for that Wukong. So, you know, it's right in the beginning of the game, but it is after how much they struggled in previous games, it is nice to see that Sengoku Gaming here is making sure to play as together as possible. Going to be helping out Hawk in that regard. We have a bit of a switch up here with Sengoku. They're dueling up in that top lane near the Baron. They're putting Garen with Curse playing the Garen over in the Dragon lane. So that switch up, they're looking to potentially get some progress made in that top lane, but not really making it happen quite yet.
Yeah, and you know what, Wukong, the Lulu just going for that invade and top side of the map, not seeing anyone, and that gives him the information, right? You have the information that Vi is onto the bottom side of the map, and similarly, with the ward from that Vi onto the top side jungle, knows that Lulu and Wukong is onto the top side of the map. So Akali, in turn, has the information on where the enemy team would be.
Yeah, but looks like Sengoku's a bit of a trouble in that bottom lane. Garen, you can see on the minimap, yeah, he has to get out of there. That could potentially be a turret taken here by Bigetron, but obviously Sengoku is going to be responding in kind in that top lane. Going to be trying to take that turret. Looks like it's going to be Hawk joining the fight here on the bottom lane to try to help that out. There's a 2v4, but they do have that turret to help them out just a little bit. Is Bigetron going to help a little bit, but the Misfortune does take quite a bit of damage from the turret. They're going to have to back off for just a moment here. In comes the Alistar to try to help out and zone out members of Sengoku, and that's going to be a turret on both sides.
A lot of waves been wasted in top lane to the side of BTR, and similarly, a lot of waves have been wasted as well for Sengoku into the bottom lane. So a lot of waves basically for everyone all around the map at the moment. But nevertheless, it's still going to be dead even when it comes to gold D2.
Yep, even gold. There is a difference between the turrets that are taken. I know some people are like, whatever, it's a turret each. This does slightly help Bigetron a little bit more because of the fact that they are able to control the area around that dragon, and that is the first most important objective of the game, right? Later on, the Baron becomes more important, but at the moment, all eyes are going to be on that dragon, and without a turret to retreat to, and without a turret to worry about, Bigetron kind of has a bit of a positional advantage there.
100%. And if you're looking at the fog of war, if you're looking at the vision, there is an advantage for BTR into the bottom side of the map.
Oh, okay. So Hawk goes big onto the Aurelion Soul, and Henry actually had to use his third ability. And you might be thinking, whatever, his third ability, but the third ability is has a long cooldown as some ultimates, right? You saw him go in between, go over the walls there, and that's extremely long cooldown. At this stage of the game, it's about 60 seconds. So that's something that Henry's not going to have available to him. It's kind of like an ult into itself. As we go on to this game, and with the dragon coming up, that's not going to be something that Henry has to his side.
Absolutely, but Garen in the top lane. I don't know what's gonna happen next, but BTR hovering here for that 5-man roam onto the Ocean Break would give them the advantage as Garen is too far from this objective.
Yeah, Garen actually running over. He's not going to go ahead and split push that lane. That means it's going to be a 4v5 situation at the moment. In they go. There goes the Wild Goat fight. I think it went onto the wrong champion here. It does go on the Hawk, but I'm not sure Hawk really needed it. He's going to be getting extremely low. Wukong has already fallen. Hawk's going to go ahead and get out of there, but here comes Garen. He is on the warpath, getting in there on top of them, and there is the jumpy fruit. I don't know what it's called, but that leads to Alistar's death. Curse is going to continue the fight here, going to spin to win on top of this Misfortune. They're going to go ahead and take her out as well, and that is a 4-for-1 for the side of Sengoku. Infinity, it was a bit sloppy, but they got it done in the end.
Yeah, and yes, Team BTR has gotten the Drake, but a lot of mistakes happened in the process, right? The dragon kill came to the Vi, the Misfortune died, a lot of things occurred that wasn't really something to be expected and wasn't really ideal to the side of BTR. And on the end of the day, Sengoku Gaming made that response against BTR very successfully. And Wukong died, sure, but they've got the carry. They've gotten Akali and they've gotten Alistar as well. So a lot of kills, a lot of opportunities for Sengoku Gaming has been made in that engagement.
Ooh, you know what I was looking at there in that replay of the fight? Is that everyone jumped the wall to continue the fight and to aggressively chase Sengoku, except for the Misfortune. Misfortune had the flash available, but she didn't want to get too aggressive in case the fight turned around. And Misfortune, after Sengoku started retreating, she didn't get a single hit point of damage off. She didn't do any damage from that point forward, and that's going to be painful if you are BTR losing that fight in that fashion because Misfortune wasn't with the team.
Yeah. And Misfortune already lost the bullet time on taking the dragon. I think it was both necessary and unnecessary at the same time, right? Securing the dragon with a bullet time, sure thing. And not using the bullet time, you have the Vi as well to finish it all off with a smite. So I think it was both necessary and unnecessary as we head into the fight here in the Rift Herald.
Yeah, there was a big engage coming out there. There's a bullet time coming out from Dewa trying to get some massive damage, but the Alistar has already fallen. Multiple members extremely low. Lulu trying to run away. So too is Rush, very low, trying to get away from this fight. That's already 3 kills going their way. A bit aggressive is a Lulu. She's going to go ahead and fall. Hawk making this happen. Garrett does fall. Are they going to be able to do it? No, he falls. Hawk falls in the end. That is a 3-for-3. Not sure that they were together. It's because they jump over to try to take this turret. Oh my goodness. Ah! Okay, Henry, can he make this happen? Rush has to burn his flash and make sure that happens. Akali is on the chase as well. Henry trying to go for it. The honey fruit's going to go for as Rush. Does he have his clone? Clone's a pretty high cooldown. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get it off. He does get it off right there. It gets a little bit of shield here from Dejuo and is going to be able to get out of there safely. At the end of the day, I believe that was a 3-for-3. The weird part was the 3 kills came immediately for Sengoku, and then all the last 3 kills came for Bigetron.
Yeah. And I think it was smart for Sengoku to go mid lane, go for the response against the turret, because Team BTR already
they could have won the fight. They could obviously they had like 1 health, and they're like, okay, we can't do anything here. We might as well take the turret. And in the end, it's in hindsight, well, I don't even know. It looked good at the time, but if they just did 1 point of damage at the end, it would have been all the difference.
Absolutely. And I think it was just amazing of BTR when you're thinking of like synergies. Like you have these places, and that Gragas ult just splits the enemy team all together, right? I think it wasn't as great as we've expected it to be, but it's still something that you could do against the enemy team. And when that occurred, Team Blue was just let's just go to the turret, get some response. Either ways, we just lost the Rift Herald, right?
Yeah. You know what's funny? So, massive ult by Gragas, but a counter massive play there from the Alistar as he was able to get knocked up, but let's talk about that later. Big bullet time coming out, but that's going to be countered by the Hawk, pushing them back with his own ult. The Akali extremely low. Are they going to get the kill on that side? No, it's going to be instead the Garen going extremely low. Vi does fall as well. It's a 1-for-1 for either side. All members are kind of trying to run away. It looks like the Lulu is going to potentially die to the combination of the Aurelion Soul and the Misfortune does go down in the end. And that's it. Looking at the carnage at the end of that, it looks like it's a 3-for-2 in favor of Bigetron. Hawk gonna just go ahead and go back to lane. So Bigetron coming out ahead in that fight. They get the dragon. They get a 3v2 victory for themselves. Or did they? Wait, I'm actually getting confused. Who took the first dragon? Who took the second dragon? I forgot.
For the first dragon, I think it was BDR. I think. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so Sengoku actually took this one. Okay, my head's spinning, guys. It's been a crazy series. But yeah, so thank you, Dave, very much. Bigetron took first one, and that actually went to the side of Sengoku. So pretty even fight in the end in that case. 3v2 in kills for Bigetron, and the dragon going over to Sengoku.
Yeah, I like what's happening right now, right? It's just so close of a fight, and yes, the 2K Goldie is going to the side of Sengoku Gaming, but it's still that close. Like the turret's taken is just 3-2. It's just minute difference that could potentially scale out later on, but that is something that BTR needs to stop.
Yeah, we have a clash over in the bottom. Dave, help us! Help us! No! I know you want to talk about the Baron, but people are dying. Dave, I could totally see Dave like talk about the Baron. Talk about the Baron. Like, no, they're fighting. Anyway, 2 go down in the end, Vi and Alistair, as it looks like no one is even damaged on the side of Sengoku. They're going to jump straight onto this Baron, but it's a risky endeavor. As you can see, Henry is in the area, so too is Dewa trying to get on here. It's a very risky situation. You see Vi and Co just spawning right now. Can they get it? It does go over the smite coming Rush's way, and they're going to be potentially on the chase as well. They take down the Akali as they turn their attention over to the multiple other members here. Rush, he gets away in the end. That was just flown over on the top side of your screen. And Sengoku, having taken what they want, they got the Baron, they got the kill. They're going to get on out of here. Infinity, I don't know. I'm not sure about that call from BTR trying to challenge that. They didn't have their jungler there.
I think it was too greedy, right? Sure, Akali could go in, Misfortune could go in, but what's next? There's no smite. Right? What could you do to steal the Baron? And sure, you could maybe skill it out. You could just go for skill shots, but is it really gonna be enough against a smite? The smite has secured like 1k damage against the Baron, right? Aside from, you know, the randomized damage output coming in from the side of BTR with the Akali, with the Misfortune and the Aurelion Sol. And on top of all that, the Misfortune and Dorian Soul wasn't even there when Akali went in because of the Gragas zoning out the enemy team. So it's just a matter of wrong decision making coming in from BTR from that Akali.
Yeah, it seems like maybe they could have had one person be annoying, and then the rest kind of take turrets, or maybe all 3 go take turrets while that's happening. It just seemed like a waste of their time here, but that is all in the past as Sengoku are starting to push into Bigetron. This is the first time they've had the lead in the late game, Infinity. Every other game they've been behind and had to try to come back. In this case, they are the ones pushing in to the turrets. Can they make it happen? Hog trying to be quite as annoying as possible. Rush helping out as well, trying to take down this mid turret. The bottom lane is nearly bare as only the inhibitor turret is left standing, and it is down to 2 ticks left. That is the jump in onto here, and that is the ult coming out, the wild goat coming out as well. Big bullet time coming out from Dewa. Can he make the difference here? Multiple members getting extremely low. There's a GA pop in exchange for Alistair going down right here. Can Rush get away? Yes, he can. And they're going to go ahead and just kind of take a breather and push onto these turrets once more. That is 2 down here for BTR. And all 5 members of Sengoku remaining, but they're going to be coming back. BTR are mad. They're going to be trying to push away as fast as they can. Rush not in the air. That means Lulu is going to be jumped and killed. Wow, amazing play here from Falp.
Alright, we can dissect that fight. Vi actually did a good initiation with the Alistar. That was basically like a 3-man, 4-man knockup coming to the side of BTR. But what's next? There's no follow-up. Misfortune was a tad bit late into that fight, and the bullet time was good. But to the side of Sengoku Gaming, they canceled that bullet time with the Wukong knockup. So it's basically across the board canceled for BTR in that engagement, and down the drain of that opportunity of winning that engagement.
Yeah, it's just, the initial engagement very poor from BTR, but after that, somehow Falp just decimates Detuo after that, fighting 3v5 somehow. It was kind of like 3v3.5 because Rush wasn't really in the area, but still worked out pretty well. Looks like we have the death cap coming in, picked up here by Hawk, gonna have a lot of damage to his side. I believe that was Hawk. Yeah, it was Hawk. He picked up the death cap, so he's gonna have quite a bit of damage. Those old souls bombs are gonna be doing massive work over to BTR as the Baron is up once again. BTR actually has position here. They're putting wards around the area. All 5 members. It's a verifiable bush party here, Infinity.
Yeah, and right now it's just BTR securing the bushes, securing the information for their team. They're waiting for the surprise factor. And now if you're looking at the Fog of War from the Sengoku Gaming side, there's no one to be found. There's no vision of the river.
It's so scary. I love this by producer Dave. It's like, it's so scary. You don't want to go in. It's like, where are they? I don't know. Oh my goodness. You could see, because we kind of knew that they were in the bush there. And you saw Rush jumping in with, the scanner to try to see wherever it was. And you saw a little bit of Aurelion Soul peek out. It's like, no, don't die. Rush, don't die.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, Yeah, it just goes to show how tense these fights can possibly be. Looks like we're looking at an 8k gold here for Sengoku. Baron still up 2 dragons to 1. Not the hugest lead in that regard, but the biggest thing here, aside from the gold lead, is that tower advantage. They have the map advantage. Sengoku trying to use that to go onto this, but Alistair snitches out. Harry is going to be in the area. Can they make it happen? Multiple members of BTR are not in the area. Can they make this happen? It's getting extremely low. It gets taken down for nothing. And whereas we were critical of the Hawk, okay, Hawk's gonna try to flash forward, didn't get it in the end. But we were critical of BTR for contesting earlier. This time, 0 contest, and dropping the ball is BTR this time.
That Tristana at the moment is just killing it with damage output. And if you saw the damage against that Baron, then Tristana was just decimating the HP of that Baron buff. So it's really just gonna be hard for BDR. And I think it's Tristana needs to be killed by BDR before just trying to go for a wipeout against Sengoku Gaming, considering that if they can.
Oh my goodness, look at the damage coming out from Hawk. So much going on to them. But the flash forward from the Alistair, he gets taken out in a matter of seconds. There's going to be the engage coming out from BTR, but I don't know if they can make this happen. The turret's falling lower. The mid-range turret is already down. All turrets are down for BTR, and Sengoku are continuing to make that push. Hawk just obliterates his opponents there. 3 are already down, and this has to be it. The pushing down onto the Nexus. The GA is caught for misfortune, and that is it. That is the series. Sengoku overcome a spirited effort from Bigetron and take it 2-1.